Okay, so I want to talk about this new bot I made. It's based on an old bot, an SMG bot I made, well, not old, but a couple of weeks ago. This one, it was really strong until the new update. Really, really fast, and you will see in the next clip, a really good climber. Here we got quite, well, not a vertical, but I mean close to vertical wall. And here is the bot at OC1 as well, not OC13, at OC1 actually climbing up. Here is a game I played with this bot, and it handles a lot like my old SMG bot, but there's a few things I'm not really happy with. If you have any suggestions how to fix it, I would be thankful for ideas. It's not as good as a climber, and the big reason is the Tesla blades. They get stuck on stuff. They get stuck as soon as you're going uphill. Of course, you could put them a bit higher, but I am already having a bit of a problem with actually driving over players when trying to hit with the Tesla blades. I can't lower the bot fast enough. I tried to put a few thruster downwards, but it doesn't really seem to affect the bot. You don't go down faster with a couple of thrusters. I guess you could put or try to fit some wings inside. I don't know if that would help. Another thing you could do to increase climbing capability, of course, you could the front side hover blades a bit lower, or a lot lower than now. That way it will push up the nose of the robot when you get close to obstacles in the terrain. The problem with that is this one is already a little bit less stable than my old bot when it comes to terrain and ending up upside down. So shifting the lift downwards will of course affect the center of mass, like compared to the lift in the robot, and make it less stable. I think this might be kind of, I'm not saying this is the new meta, but I would think it's a very strong robot, because you got decent close combat capabilities thanks to the Tesla blades, and it really excels at long range. It's pretty much just as if an SMG comes up close, like the teslablades still work. They're hard to lock on up if they're close. At distance it's not really hard, but if they're right above you, it's really hard to lock in on them. And of course the Tesla blades won't really help against air. This bot is quite sturdy. It will take quite a lot of damage, although it can become unstable. It's quite fun to play. I mean, I like speedy bots because you can be pretty much all over the map.
Enemy spotted.
I think with this new update, it's becoming more diverse now. Like the first days after the updates, there was only missile launchers. There's the Tesla blades, so they really work on like finishing off crippled opponents, for example. But I still think, after playing with them a few games, I still think they're a tad too strong. Maybe a bit less than I did at first. But of course now I'm playing it myself as well. I played a few games with my SMG bots after the update, and I do consider that one being a better or more well-made bot. But I still score higher with this one. I usually end up in the top score with it. And even after the button, I can't really pronounce that word, but that they decreased the damage to turrets, let's put it that way, from the missile launchers. I still think they take them very fast. I don't know if that much of a difference actually. Here's me having problems to hit with the Tesla blades.
Your bottom fusion tower is under attack.
Of course, it's easy to shine or easier to show what a bot can do in a winning game. I've had some horrible games as well. If you're on the losing side, it can be really tough. Since missile launchers are best, they're okay at closer range, but they're absolutely best on long range. But it's easier to lock in, of course. And at close range it can get shot off quite easily, especially since I used to use one of them. So I'm doing okay in the game. Once you've got the missile launcher shot off, you're of course not as strong. But with some Tesla blades you can still do something. So I actually really like the Tesla edition. The only thing that bugs me is the lack of possibility to climb walls. I had this game where a guy was sitting up a wall that I, with my SMG bolt, would just have gone right up and killed him. And with this one, I had so much struggle to get up there. I had to go to dead slow and like slowly start creeping up the wall. So any suggestions on how to improve on the Tesla blade positioning would be welcome. I think I tried most things by now, even putting skis below them, but I didn't like how that turned out. It didn't seem to help at all, and even made like moving close to ground a bit. I don't know, it affected the maneuverability of the bot a bit negative, so I actually took them away. Most of this game is kind of like one-sided.
Enemy spotted.
There's a lot of sneak and peek. That's also why I think this is good on really fast robots, because once you fire it, you kind of want to run away if you can't finish off the opponent. At least I think so, if it's not severely hurt, because once the missile launcher comes up, you're quite vulnerable. I know a lot of people put 2 of them for that reason, but I don't know, like, it's also a good indication for when to run. Like, once it comes up, run. Yeah, I have such a huge problem hitting with the Tesla blades sometimes. I guess it's easier with a flyer. I don't know. I never really made a Tesla bot before, so
Fusion tower is under attack. Enemy spotted.
that was a bit chicken of me. I could have gone so much closer.
Your middle fusion tower is under attack. Enemy spotted.
So this is also the reason to have a fast spot to defend the turrets really easily, like shifting between different objectives. I mean, after all, it's an objective-focused game, so keeping the turrets capped really helps for keeping up pressure. I would never have wanted that without the Tesla blades. Those gun beds, you don't do that much damage against them. So this game is pretty much already over. Even though I think it's like 4 or 5 minutes remaining on this game.
Enemy spotted.
So it keeps itself up straight, but I would like it to become more stable. I could of course try to work around with some of the top side cubes. The top is mostly like made up of rods and really light cubes, but there's still some work that could be done. I want my robots to look neat, so sometimes I might not use the most optimal cube and look at what looks good over pure function.
Captured the enemy's middle fusion tower.
So it's a bit of a slaughter in the end.
Enemies
I don't know about what, like, the missile launcher, it's a lot of OP threads about them right now, and I mean, I created one myself. And I do think they have a bit too much of domination. Either turn rate or lock on should be lowered a bit. Maybe it's hard to lock on when you're close, so that's quite good. But what it could do is actually narrow the circle when targets are far away, maybe, to make it harder to lock on. I don't know if that's possible to kind of, if someone is far away, they have to move a lot longer distance to get out of the circle, right? So it's a lot easier to lock on a target far away than a close one, because if they're really close, they just have to move the slightest to get out of your aim. I mean, technically it should be possible, but they need to do something, I think, to tune them down. I still have that opinion. It's a bit too easy to do really well with it.
Enemy spotted.
But now with so many ground boats, I made a helicopter first, like I had one clip showing that one, which is not nearly as strong. When you're up in the air, it's a lot more difficult to dodge shot like this. And you're pretty much dead in the air. If people start locking into you, there's nowhere to run unless your Tesseract cube can dodge the shot while in the air. Well, with like the hover type ones, the biggest threat is really flax. That's why the teslablades are so strong. That was a massive chunk of HP on that bot. And there they give up. So I'm gonna finish the video with showing a bit of how the bot is constructed. It's very similar to my earlier build, except the front hover blades are positioned a bit differently and a bit higher. And of course it's teslablades and a lot more shielding. You ended, when stripping it of guns, you end up with a lot more CPU compared to having two mega SMGs and a lot of SMGs attached to it. So I use that for shields. So here we are, the radar, to block the radar. Yeah, there's the radar. Everything positioned where it can't be hit easily. All the thrusters, everything's inside. While the shielded is trying to keep